And I mean, it's all like going to be these incredible movie people. Then we have like Dale Christian, who did Phantom here for many years. Heather McRae.
Yeah.
Donna McKechnie.
Donna
McKechnie is doing it.
Oh,
So excited. So
okay.
excited. The legendary Patricia Morrison. Legendary. I'm so excited about that. She's done it a ton of times. Helen Reddy. Rex Reed is a part of it.
Okay.
Jake Simpson, who is incredible, won Star Search twice. His voice is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Kevin Spiritus. It's a great cast. It's a great group of people. And then there's going to be this amazing fashion show that's going to happen at the top of Act 2 with original costumes from original legendary classic films.
Ooh.
We're going to have beautiful women coming out and wearing these costumes, and it's just going to be, it's going to be
And
awesome.
I love those sort of things. I love seeing screen tests whenever there's like a DVD box set and you can see like screen tests or the costume tests when they're like, oh, that color is not happening. Got Edith Head going on.
Yeah. I'm curious because I've seen photos of some of the gowns that are going to be presented, and some of them are stills from the films, but they're black and white, so I don't know what they actually what they're going to look like in live color, and most of us have never seen them in live color because we've only seen the black and white films. So it's going to be incredible to actually see these costumes, these beautiful gowns in color for the first time in public.
If my friend Randall's involved. My friend Randall Thropp, he curated the Edith Head costumes for Paramount.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a private collection. These are coming from a private collection, from a collector. Yeah. So they're not, as far as I know, they're not like the public is not privy to some of.
So if you want to be
gowns.
privy, May 10th, you're gonna get your tickets at stagela.com to come see Julie Garnier as well as multiple other awesome
amazing people
at the Savon Theater for the stage benefit. It's benefiting APLA. Well, Julie, will you grace us with a song today?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so all right, read off. So I'm gonna pick it
gosh.
right off the.
Okay, but
top.
wait. Okay.
Give me your top 5 or your 3.
Gimme from Thoroughly Modern Millie.
That's a good one.
Okay, Meadowlark's just too long. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis. Part of Your World from Little Mermaid. Memory from Cats. Don't Rain on My Parade.
I'm gonna go with Memory because we started.
I think The Story Goes On is in here somewhere. Where's My Story Goes On? Oh, I don't have it with me. Oh no, I don't.
Oh, from Baby?
Yeah, I have it. The Story Goes On. I have that.
Too.
I'm just trying to think what else I have.
Now it's before 1 o'clock. Are you okay to do Memory? You think?
Yeah. You want me to do Memory?
Yeah. I would love that because we bringing it back. You see how I'm bringing it back?
Yeah, bringing it
full
circle
cats?
with the cats. Oh, you're obsessed. That's what it is.
I like dogs too. It's true. I just don't have a yard. Anyway.
Okay, yeah, I can do this.
I love it.
Let's do it. I'm plugged in. Am I good to go? I'm good to go. Let's see how this works.
We're live.
We are so live.
We're so live.
I'm playing this. Is it not working?
There we go.
Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone. In the lamplight, the withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. Every street lamp seems to beat a fatalistic warning. Someone mutters and the street lamp gutters, and soon it will be morning. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new life will begin. Cheesy karaoke music.
I love it. I love it. Keep it going. Van Eric, keep it up. It's a bridge. It's a bridge, darling.
Burned out ends of smoky days, the stale, cold smell of morning. Street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning. Touch me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory of my days in the sun. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. Look, a new day has begun.
I love you did your own fade out. Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness. And to find out more about Julie, you can go to juliegarnier.com. Last name is spelled Garnye.
Yeah, it's fake. It's not a real name. So that's a great story too.
Oh,
Sorry, we don't
yes?
have time to tell it. Do we have time to tell it?
Is it short?
It's
Yes.
short.
Tell me.
Okay.
Go.
At one point in my life, I was married.
Uh-huh.
And when I was married, we were on our honeymoon in Paris. And we were in a bar. It was our last night of our honeymoon at the Hotel Plaza Athénée on the Champs-Élysées. Maybe I'll get a free room there now that I've said their name on the radio. I would love one. Thank you very much. So we were in the bar drinking champagne and celebrating our last day in Paris. And Joel Grey and James Garner and James Garner's wife walked into the bar. Yeah, I'm not kidding. They were
so as opposed to a rabbi, priest, and a minister, you
right.
had like
It's Joel Grey, James Garner, and James Garner's wife, whose name I can't remember right now. And they sat at the table next to ours. And my husband and I at the time had been talking about what name I was going to take professionally now that I was married. My maiden name is Arbagi, and my married name was Rona. And so I jokingly said, why don't I go ask them, and whatever they say, I'll do. So I walked over and I said, I'm sorry to interrupt you. And they said, it's okay. What's the deal? And I told them what the deal was. And I said, well, first of all, why are you here? And they said, well, we were in Venice for the Venice Film Festival. And a lot of people come to Paris to kind of chill out after the festival. So you would not believe the people that, I'm going to drop some serious names in a second.
Yes.
I'm going to have to bend over a lot. But
that's all right.
there were a lot of people that were staying in our hotel because it's a swanky hotel in Paris. Mm-hmm. So we kind of splurged for the last night of our honeymoon. We stayed in a smaller hotel for most of it. And then for our last night, we splurged. So
That's a really good tip, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, go.
Go out with a bang kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I told them what my first name was, and then what both of my last names were, and I said maybe we hyphenate. What do you want to do? And they said no. Neither of those will do. Both of your names suck, basically, is what they said. And they said, well, you've got to sound French because we're in Paris. Your name has to sound French. So then in walked Clint Eastwood and Lenny Hirschman. And Lenny was Clint's manager and said, what's going on here? And everybody told him. And so Clint was the one that said, it's got to sound French. We're in Paris. And so Lenny said, why don't you take half of each of their last names and kind of smush them together? So the Garn of Garnier is from James Garner.
Mm-hmm.
The EY is from Gray. But when we wrote it down, it looked like Garney.
Yeah, no.
So we were like, that's not French. So Joel flipped the last two letters and added an accent aigu over the E, Garnier. And I was like, that's actually kind of great. That's a great name, Julie Garnier. I think that's fantastic. So that's my name. So I took it. And then 4 years later, I was living in New York full time and working, and I was a part of the Easter Bonnet competition, which just happened. It's this great, it's for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and it's this great concert that happens. And so I was singing in that concert, and that was the year of Wicked. So Joel Grey was hosting the concert, and we were sitting backstage just waiting to go on, and he was sitting there going through his index cards of who was coming up next and stuff. And I sat down next to him and I said, Joel, I don't know if you remember, about 4 years ago in Paris, this happened. And he goes, I don't know. And I pulled out my equity card and I handed it to him, and he goes, oh, I can say bad words because it's
go.
Internet. He said, holy shit, you actually did it. And I was like, yeah, I did, because my equity card, my actor's equity card, my union card actually says Julie Garnier on it because that's the name I use professionally. So that's the Julie Garnier story.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. And with that, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with James Esposito from Chromaloom Theater. Don't forget to get your tickets for the stage benefit at stagela.com. This is Dorothy Dillingham Blue on La La Land Talk. You like it?
It's the first time I'm hearing this.
Isn't it everything?
It's amazing.
I can't. Billy Porter and Broadway inspirational voices. I cannot.
Yes, it is
Cannot.
just.
It is church.
It is church. Theater is church. Church is theater. Okay. I love it. Julie and I were talking before about this this rendition of Sunday from Sunday in the Park with George that Billy Porter does in a concert version with, what is it, Broadway's Inspirational Voices?
It's called Broadway Inspirational Voices. They're like some of the best, I mean, they are the best gospel Broadway singers in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And he used them on his album. It's called At the Corner of Broadway and Soul. That's actually one of his older albums. He's got a new album out right now that's
I remember you talking about, yeah.
ridiculously great.
Okay.
I can't recommend enough. Go buy Billy Porter's album. Do it immediately. The new one, all of them. Just go
get them.
Just go to iTunes, type in Billy Porter, and then buy everything. Just buy everything, because he is ridiculous. He's so
ridiculous.
Good. He is so good.
And we did have a reason for playing this. The reason is to speak because James Esposito, who is Vice President of Operations for Chrome Theater, is a huge Stephen Sondheim fan.
That's right.
And that is sort of the reason why the company itself has its name. Am I right?
That's right. Actually, when I was considerably younger, actually, my mother had Sunday in the Park with George on. It was on PBS way back in the day when it came out in the late 90s, I believe, or the late 80s.
And that's the Patinkin Peters version.
And I heard it and I was like, that's I like that name, because the story goes that the contemporary George makes these things called chromolooms, and I heard that and I was like, I'm going to remember that. If I ever have a company, I'm going to name it Chromoloom, because I just love the name. It's so different, and people will remember us, which actually has been a good thing. The only problem we've ever had is no one knows how to spell it. So we've had to make some modifications as far as, our website goes. But other than that, we've kept the name. We actually just celebrated our 12-year anniversary last March, or this past March. So, we're still here, still hanging in there. But yeah.
Excellent. Yes, now you're at in the Attic Theater space on Washington Boulevard, correct?
That's correct. We took them over last. Let's see. Actually, it's 2 years ago. 2 years in May. It was May 2012. We took over the space, and we just signed a 3-year lease a couple months ago. So we're going to be there for another 3 years, making some renovations inside the space to make it more like a theater, because apparently before the Attic Theater actually moved in, it was an aviary.
I'm sorry, an aviary?
It was an aviary.
As in birds?
Yes, it was. We have, in our cleanup over the last few months, we have found feathers everywhere. We actually had a gentleman an electrician doing some electrical work in our building, and he popped open an outlet and outpoured this enormous amount of feathers inside. And now we're like, oh, that's probably why the power has just been so odd in our space. But,
that is insane.
Yeah, just
birds.
That's right. Found space. That's what all our 99-seat theaters are here in LA.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so now what would you say is the mission of Chromoloom Theater?
When I started it with my friend Aaron Eaton way back at Santa Monica City College, our mission was to present musicals on the 99-seat level, and we still pretty much do that. That's kind of the goal of our theater company. Although in our current iteration, we're kind of half producing and half a rental house. Because that's a business model that works a lot better than before, because I have the debt to prove it from the first go round. although I'm finally out of that part, so thank God, and my wife's very happy about that. Yeah, so we love doing musicals. That's kind of what I grew up on. My mother was a jazz singer at in the Playboy jazz clubs way back in the 60s and 70s, and my father was a jazz composer. So I kind of grew up on music and musicals. My mother started playing just every single musical that was on record way back then. I remember the first 3 musicals I ever saw in order was A Chorus Line, then I saw Pacific Overtures, and then I saw The Wiz, and I was hooked. And this is like when I was like 5 or 6, so we're talking the late 70s, way back, and I just loved it. I've loved musicals ever since, and I always thought that's what I want to do. I mean, even now, when I was an actor, I didn't really care very much for doing plays because I'd always sit there thinking, where's the music going to start? Because I want to hear some singing. Yeah, no.
Well, I think it's interesting. Some people they across the board love all kinds of different things, and I think it's okay if you really have a specialty thing that you enjoy. I don't see a problem with that. I think
Absolutely.
Too many times it's the whole thing with I teach kids, I direct kids, and everyone's like, they just need to know a little bit of everything. I'm like, no, they should be really, really good at something.
Yeah.
Let them be really awesome at something.
Yeah.
Why let them be kind of sort of okay at many, many things when they could be unbelievably awesome at 1 or 2 things? There's not a problem with that. Anyway, I digress. So, currently running, you have Altar Boys.
That's correct.
Yes, which I have seen, which is a hoot. Such a hoot.
Yeah, we actually we're in week 4. We just had our first offended patron last night.
Yeah!
Walk out during the calling, which is, I believe, the
very nice
4th or 5th show. Actually, as normally when someone walks out of your show, you're actually, oh God, maybe we should. We're actually really happy about that. We actually got someone offended.
Yeah.
Now, if only that person can go to his friends and they can come and pick at us.
Yes.
Then we can really have something.
Absolutely. That's what it. But the funny thing is, I mean, it's a satirical show.
Yes.
If you go there and are wanting to like be really serious, then just go somewhere else. I'm saying go have a wonderful, fun night. It was a really enjoyable evening. And because I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your choreographer's name.
Samantha Marie.
Thank you. So she did such a fantastic job because I was talking to her afterward. I'm like, you had many levels of expertise for your dancers, and I thought she really was able to work with all of them so well that they were very coordinated and very with the times, with the boy band times, but also in the the church choir moves as well. So
Yes.
I thought she was able to blend those two together in a really, really positive way.
Yeah, she's great. She came to us because we have a theater and we are a rental house. So she's our assistant theater manager. That's her official title with us. And when we were doing our previous show, Musical of Musicals, the musical,
Which was also hilarious. I saw that one as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, and there's a funny story about how we came about that show. But So Samantha was hired as a theater, our assistant theater manager, and when we were doing Musical of Musicals, which had a very short rehearsal period, unfortunately our choreographer for that show got sick. She was out for a week, and it was literally like, okay, so what are we going to do? And we know Samantha's there, and she was, she kind of had taken on the assistant choreographer for Musical of Musicals, and we're just like, look, can you help us out? And she's like, sure. So, and it was the first show she had ever choreographed. I mean, she's a dancer, but so
Sure.
it's, she obviously has the ability, but she had never choreographed anything before. So she did that show, and she did such a great job on that. She got hired on other projects, and then, Altar Boys came. So she's great. I mean,
you're not going to be able to keep her for long as the assistant theater manager.
Yeah, I actually, I recently saw the Tarzan that because Kristen directed Altar Boys as well for us,
Right.
and actually directed Musical of Musicals. And as I was sitting there watching Tarzan, I was thinking, Yeah, you're better than what we're doing right now. I mean, it's really, I mean, she's at such a level that, we're not there yet. We want to get there.
Sure.
And it's just, yeah, I told her, I said, we're going to milk you as long as we can. But yeah, you should be working at places like the Geffen, Mark Taper, Amundsen, and yeah, you should move to New York. So
there you go. And what's interesting is, I'm sure you could speak to this as well, Julie, that I've worked with dancers that have transitioned to choreography that don't quite know how to choreograph non-dancers.
Right.
And that to me is a very specific skill set.
Right.
And if you're able to do that, you will never be without someone wanting to find you for a job. Everyone wants that choreographer that's going to teach and nurture and do that, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, especially for the non-dancer or the strong mover.
The strong mover,
the
yes.
strong movers or the danceurs, as I sometimes call them too. You want someone who has patience,
yes,
and kindness, and also can recognize and understand what your strengths are.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are better at tapping than others, or jazz, or ballet, or some of us have no strengths at all, and trying to milk maybe an elegance or grace that you have, whether or not you're a dancer, is it's important for a choreographer to be able to make everyone look good and shine, dependent on no matter what their skill set is.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a huge thing.
Absolutely. So yeah, I like how with the space that you have in the attic, you have I think you use the space well as far as picking the shows that you have so far.
Yes.
That they are small casts.
Yes.
Because I'm sure, I've certainly been to the shows to performances where they just didn't take into account that they're in a small space and you don't need to add ensemble members if you have a small space. Like seriously, don't try to put 60 people on a stage that can only hold 10.
Oh no.
Because it's just, and because everybody's singing too loud and there's only like 4 rows in the theater to begin with. It just know your audience, know your space.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I love ragtime. I would die to produce ragtime, but in a space that seats 40 and a stage that's like 20 feet wide, kind of difficult to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, we can maybe get the car on stage, but nothing else. So yeah, we have to. I mean, it's also for us. It's also a budgetary issue because we pay our actors. So we can't have shows with like 20 people in it, and we're paying everyone plus plus all the designers, and we would definitely lose money that way.
Yeah.
And again, I've already done that. I've already played that game. That has not gone well. So with this business model, we try to do shows that are a little bit on the smaller scale, or maybe we do a musical that has maybe 9 people or 8 people. We can do something like that.
James.
Yeah,
Don't
I know.
go crazy, man.
Well, we want to push the envelope.
I know.
But we want to do something in a smaller area so that we can stay afloat.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Do you do Love Sondheim? I mean, you're the Kremlin Theater Company.
Yes, but I always say Sondheim is my second favorite composer because I'm sorry, no one can touch Beethoven for me.
Okay.
Do you do any of his musicals?
Yes,
so
actually.
Kidding.
No. Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
so kidding.
No.
You're so sassy, Julie.
Our goal initially was to do a Sondheim show every season. That was one of our initial goals.
Okay.
That didn't pan out very well early on, but we have done. We did Sondheim's first musical, Saturday Night. That was our first musical back in 2004, directed by John Engstrom. And then we've done, You're Gonna Love Tomorrow, which is obviously what is it called? A review. Then we did Merrily Roll Along. That was in 2007. And this year, at the end of this year, we're going to do Putting It Together. So that's kind of getting back to our Sondheim roots.
But you haven't done Sunday in the Park with George yet.
Nope, because again, that would be incredibly challenging to do in our space. Now, I actually did see, it starred Kristen in a version of Sunday in the Park in a small theater, so I can see how it could possibly work. But we would.
Could be done.
Yeah, we would just need to get a director who could actually put it together, which would be challenging because again, it's something. It just to get that painting, the visual of the painting up there would be that's the challenge because
I vote for Kristen.
Yeah, well, I think she'd probably want to be in it.
Yeah, you're right. She might want to be in it.
I'll direct it.
Okay, well, you know what? There we go. Now we gotta.
All right, you guys are all set.
It's all set.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
No,
Thank
please
you.
try.
And you're welcome.
No, I don't.
So people that may not be familiar with what it is to be a theater that does a 99C contract, can you kind of like illuminate?
Oh, the wonderful 99C contract that the Actors Equity sends out. So basically, what we are able to do is we're allowed to use the equity actors and pay them considerably less than what they are worth. If I remember correctly, there's a sliding scale. It's based off of not only your ticket price, but also the number of seats that you have in your theater. It basically works out. What we pay is somewhere between $15 and $18 per show, which again, it's way less than the actors are worth. But kind of our philosophy right now is, this is what we can pay, and we really hope that you guys will accept it, because we've tried we're going to pay you guys top dollar because that's what you're worth. But again, that put us into a huge amount of debt, and we don't want to go back there.
Right.
So it basically works out to $15 a show, $15 to $18 a show, and actually it's only for the union actors. So whether you're SAG, AFTRA, AGVA, Equity, they're the only ones who get paid. However, at our theater, we pay the non-union as well because we feel that they all should be treated equally. I know in talking to a lot of other producers and theaters that it's kind of a 50-50 proposition. Some do, some don't. But for us, we want to make sure that everyone is paid something. I mean, at least gas.
Yeah.
So that's kind of important to us.
What I noticed with your theater that I was really impressed with it is that you do have a full stock of understudies.
Right.
That go on.
That's right.
That they have dedicated performances, because I think that's sometimes what people are hesitant about committing to a 99-seat contract is that, well, it's not that they don't mind the low pay sometimes. It's just that what if something really huge comes up? You're a theater lover, if that's your heart, but you do have to balance your own personal bottom line as well.
Right. And for us, it's always been something important to me that if we're going to have an understudy, they should get on.
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it also has a secondary thing because as a producer, it's also kind of like an extra opening night because the understudies are going to bring their families, and they're only getting 2, 3, 4 performances in an 18 show run, so it's kind of all these extra these little kicks in our attendance, which has actually worked out very well for us. And speaking of an actor having things happen, we just had our lead Matthews. In addition to him going off to San Luis Obispo to be in Showboat and missing the last 2 weeks of our show, he is sick this entire weekend, so he's out, and our understudy is in. We literally called him about 2 hours before our performance yesterday, said, "Hi, by the way, you're going on as Matthew." He's like, "Well, what? Oh, okay." So, and then we had the same thing happen as I was coming over here. We had the same issue where our original Matthew said, I'm too sick, I cannot go on. So luckily our understudy's there. So
it's insurance for a producer.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I think it's a valuable learning thing for an actor as well to be an understudy, because I think that ability to really jump in, to learn what someone else has been doing, to kind of slip into their track, I guess.
Right.
That's something to know. Like Julie, you said you were first on for Grizzabella for the tour, and I mean, had you had experience being an understudy before the tour?
No, that was my first time. And it was such an interesting experience. I now have a really huge appreciation for anyone who understudies, and I also have a bigger appreciation for people who swing.
Oh my God!
Because the swings cover like 8 roles.
Yeah.
And when you don't know what the traffic patterns are, and you don't know who's standing where at what point in time and what role you're actually playing, because it's like, it's crazy. I could never do it. I mean, my brain was full just playing Jenny Anydots and being the Grisabella first cover. I can't imagine having to learn 6 or 8 different cat tracks. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they do that. I couldn't do it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Insane.
We had, when we did Merrily, we had 2 swings, and I have no idea how the ladies who are our swings were able to do, several different roles, and they were understudying a couple of it's amazing.
That is nuts. Now, Altar Boys runs through May
11th.
May 11th. Is that the Sunday?
Yes, that is Mother's Day. We are playing on Mother's Day. We played on Easter. We played on Good Friday.
Which I think is awesome. I don't know if you planned it that way, but it's hilarious that Altar Boys play through.
Well, that our marketing for that week was to, if you can't make it out to church, you can come pray to the altar of musical theater.
That's great. And what's coming up next?
Our next show is a play with music, actually, kind of going a little bit away from what we normally do. It's a one-man show about the life and times of Charlie Parker, called Bird Lives, and I'm very excited because again, I grew up on jazz and musical theater, so. When the gentleman Tommy Hicks, who's the director, when he brought the show to me and he's starting to describe the show, I'm like, yeah, I actually know who Charlie Parker is. I'm really excited about this, and I want to do this. So very excited about that. Our Charlie Parker is Monte Russell, who was on ER for a while and for like 7 seasons, I think. And he actually just finished a one-man show about Thurgood Marshall called Thurgood. So he was in that, and he's going to be doing Charlie Parker for us. So yeah, we're really excited.
Excellent. And when does that open?
That opens, it's April 15th through September 21st, which is actually my 13-year anniversary. Nope, 12. Sorry.
So May 15th, you mean? May 15th?
Nope, April. I'm sorry, August 15th. August 15th. Like, yeah, that's right.
That's a different month.
Yeah, that is a different month. Yeah, August 15th through September 21st. Yeah, we have a bit of a break in, so some rentals could come in so that we can pay for the rest of the shows that we want to do.
Always helpful. Yes. And if anybody is interested in the shows or rentals, then the website for Chrome Loom is CR Theater, spelled the correct way, RE at the end, .com. You can also find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Chrome Theater and on Twitter at Chrome Theater. So, yes.
That's right.
Make sure you keep track of all that and see what's the what. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And LA Theater's not dead.
It's LA Theater's not dead.
That's right. There's plenty of good
evidenced from our awesome show today.
That's right.
Just saying. So, that's how it is. I'm dead. Yes.
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 I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Oh, goodness. I'm just seeing who's on next week. There we go. All right. So I've had a fun time today. I missed you, Brett, but, I had a great time with my guest today.
That's right. Brett missed out.
I know. With Julie Garnier from the stage benefit for APLA, which is May 10th, and also with James Esposito from the Chrome Loom Theater. Currently running his Altar Boys, closes May 11th, so make sure you check that out. Thank you so much. You can check out La La Land at La La Land Talk. What am I talking about? Oh, yeah, if you email us, lalalandtalk@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at lalalandtalk or find us on Facebook, facebook.com/lalalandtalk. And make sure you tune in next week. We have Lauren Lester and Doug Haverty from Gershwin. You need to be really more specific here, Brett, because this is like driving me crazy. And then and also from the Malibu Playhouse production of The Vortex. All right, so I'm Dorothy Dillingham Blue. Thank you so much for joining us. Catch us next week, Saturday at noon, for La La Land Talk on LA Talk Live, and we'll see you at the top.